I'm Dr. Tamar Chansky, and today we're talking about perfectionism. And some of you listening to this may hear that and think, "Oh, great! I'm going to learn how to be more perfect." And you're ready to hear those lessons. Others of you may live with someone who's a perfectionist, or may have those tendencies yourself, and you kind of have the inside scoop to know that, boy, trying to make things perfect is just a recipe for misery. There is an alternative, and that is striving for excellence. There's a big difference. Perfection is an illusion. We can never, it's unachievable. Everything can be improved. Thank goodness. That's how growth happens. That's how people develop and change cultures, civilizations. So moving away from perfection for this illusion of seeking perfection is not really giving up something. A lot of times when I talk to parents of high school students about perfectionism, and they look at me kind of like, are you trying to get my kid to be a couch potato? We want them to succeed in life. And it's about helping people to succeed in life by from the starting gate, making goals that are achievable. And as you succeed with a goal, then you build on that. When you have frustration or failure built into your goal because you set out to do something perfectly, your appearance, the work that you're doing, the environment you live in, the people that you interact with, when you have that expectation, frustration, like I said, is built in, because it's not going to be possible. And what happens actually when we are frustrated or disappointed often is that we give up. It's not that we build on that. People who are perfectionists tend to be really hopeless, because what they have, it's not, they have great potential. It's not them. They can make changes. It's just that the expectation that they have is not possible, and it's not sustainable. And there's no joy or satisfaction in that mindset, because we always fall short if we're setting the expectation of being perfect. So what's the alternative? Like I said, it's about striving for excellence, and working on improving. I see this a lot with kids that I see who are working on sports, and they get very discouraged when they have a bad play in a sport, bad moment, they strike out or foul, and it's like they didn't just think of that moment as an isolated event. It feels like their self-worth in its entirety rests on that moment, and because that moment didn't go well, they've lost all their chips. So you can think of it that way if you're a parent of a child with perfectionism, or if you are an adult, thinking about yourself or other people in your life. Think about it that way, that and hopefully when you hear that example, that you're thinking like, oh wait, no, that person's going to be up at bat again. That was just that one moment. Right. That's absolutely the idea that we want to go with here, is that it's really, we zoom out. Perfectionism is all about, everything rides on whatever it is we're doing at that given moment. But life is a process of zooming out to see that we are about growth. We can think of our lives as that process, not the kind of snapshots of everything we've done wrong, and that is the highlights of our life. It's the film. It's all the moments, and that we're always growing. Even people who are perfectionists are moving towards something, but it's so painful because often it does sort of take this moment when things are so bad that you decide you have to do something different, or people are telling you like, it's so tense, I feel like I'm walking on eggshells around you. So this is an opportunity to take charge now, and decide that you're going to keep striving for excellence, have integrity in what you do, but you're also going to balance that with a realistic perspective, and expectation on what's possible, and valuing not just the product, but your happiness, the sense of joy and happiness of the people around you as well. A lot of times in a work setting, people think, I can't make a mistake, I have to do things perfectly. And because they're so focused on themselves and their performance, they're not as, let's say they're not as fun to work with potentially, but they may miss something. Usually whatever we do, we work in groups. We are social beings. So we might, if we're so focused on the tightrope walk that we're on, we may miss something else that's going on around us that would actually really help the greater good of the project that we're working on at work, or within our relationships and our families. So really important to remember that, to kind of think about mistakes as an opportunity to learn something new and to improve. And that's actually how you get better at things. So I was saying earlier, and I don't remember if I finished that thought, it may feel like giving up perfectionism is about losing something, but it's really about gaining a more possible way of growing and improving in life. So always in our work on anxiety, if you've heard other videos that I've done, we're always talking about how to shrink down the expectations and assessments of risk in a situation. So that's kind of step one. What we have done here is talking about lowering the stakes. What does it mean if I don't do something perfectly, versus the standards? You don't, let go of your standards, but you have a different understanding that if you got that B on a test, or the project that you turned in wasn't your very best work, it was the best work you could do under those circumstances, but you lower the stakes about what that means, keep your standards going, but that you can experiment the other parts. So we're shrinking the risk down, but then we want to help you to see that you can approach situations or have experiences that may feel imperfect, and see that you can live through them. Very important to not just shift the mindset, but to exercise it, practice with it. So that may mean making mistakes on purpose, small mistakes, that's fine. Or saying, you don't bring, you bring the wrong thing into work, and rather than trying to hide that, you say, I spaced, I didn't do that. Let me see how I can fix this. Maybe somebody else has an idea about that. Sometimes with folks with perfectionism about their appearance, if there's something that you would never do, like I would never, wear this color with this color. I would never leave the house without, earrings or whatever. Do those things to see that, hey, now, nothing happens except the good, that you see that you're able to get through that. You forget about it. It's not like traffic stops and they're noticing your fashion flaw. You might even get compliments about it. Who knows? So thank you for listening, and here's to less perfectionism and more striving together for excellence in our world together. Thanks so much, and more information, as always, at tamarchansky.com.